Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Grim the Lord Assault here with another channel update. I'm not going to be around much for the next 24 hours or so I figured I'd leave you guys with some information on how the projects are coming along. I did start my career mode in WWF Attitude on the PlayStation 1. So far, so good. Very happy with how it's come along. And there's a second, as of the making of this, the second episode is scheduled for you guys tomorrow, so you have something to watch. I will be working early tomorrow, so I won't be around too much. I'll be home tomorrow night, so hopefully we'll get more done then. If not, then the next day. So more is in the pipeline that'll be coming out, but at least we're covered for now. To everyone tuning in, thanks for watching. The numbers are up. Subscriptions are up, so I'm glad to have you guys along. We've been getting some good commentary from you guys, which I'm always happy to read a comment and get some feedback. So yeah, in addition to what we'll keep going in the career mode for Attitude. No streaming plans for the future because my schedule is an absolute mess. So I stick with just making content. And I mentioned in a previous video that I might be even more indisposed very soon. We'll see the way the work schedule's shaping up. I don't know if I'm going to have days off very soon, so we will see how it goes. But for now, we're just going to keep cranking it, and as long as we're enjoying the ride. Now, I did try to I was going to start working on the Japanese wrestling games as kind of a side quest for myself for my days off. And what I discovered is I already mentioned this in my Attitude video, but I wanted to start with the NES games because there are roots there for the Japanese wrestling games. There was 3 wrestling games in particular that stood out. Tag Team Wrestling, which the original arcade game was made by Technos Japan, the same company that did the Superstars and WrestleFest games for WWF back in the day. The NES port, of course, was made by another company. And then there's Pro Wrestling, which was made by the same guy who went on to found Human Entertainment, I think it's called. But they're the developers that made the Fire Pro series, along with a number of other Japanese wrestling games. And the third game was going to be Tecmo Wrestling, which anybody who's played any sports game on the NES knows there's a Tecmo variant for just about everything, and it's all good stuff. So I was going to play all 3 of those games, get a nice little Japanese NES trilogy going. But when I played Tag Team Wrestling got a lot of negative reviews. I assumed it was a case sort of like the In Your House WrestleMania arcade game, or even Attitude, where people just gave nasty reviews because they couldn't be bothered to learn how to play. That's not the case. I learned how to play Tag Team Wrestling, and it's still a really, really awful game. So I'm not going to be... because that kind of unravels the whole trilogy thing. It's like, do I really want to just play 2 random NES games before? Nah, we'll get into the Fire Pro games proper, as well as other Japanese wrestling games. We're going to start... It'll start with Super Fire Pro on the Super Nintendo, and then there's a couple PlayStation 1 Japanese wrestling games, and a couple extra PlayStation 2 Japanese ones, because I want to try to cover my bases there. Because Spike, who eventually took over for Fire Pro, they made some of their own Japanese wrestling games even before that, and of course Yuke's, before they started even making licensed WWF games, were making Japanese wrestling games, so there's some games that they've made and worked on, and of course Aki made their own, besides the licensed WWF and WCW games back in the day. They made their own Japanese wrestling games, so I want to cover all the bases there for that as best I can. In addition to moving on, so it's a lot to cover, and it's all on the menu. I'll be covering it intermittently because we'll see how things shape up. But for now, I'm going to focus on the WWE licensed stuff. Oh, the licensed stuff in general, actually. Now that we're onto the PlayStation 1, we are going to be branching out into the other companies as well. I'll be doing some WCW Thunder and WCW NWO Thunder, as well as, of course, because we're following Sculptured Software so far in this marathon, so we'll stay with them for the last ECW game. There was only made 2 of them, and Sculptured Software worked on them, so we'll cover the newer one of those 2, as well as, like I said, Thunder, that'll complete the 3 companies for PlayStation 1. From there, we'll move on to the Aki games for the Nintendo 64, of which we only have one for WWF and one for WCW. Unfortunately, we never got an ECW Aki game, which would have been awesome, but it is what it is. But we will play those games as well, and we'll be working our way up from there. So yeah, we're expanding a bit, and it's sprinkled in between there somewhere. We'll be doing some Fire Pro, because I definitely want to get into Fire Pro. The thing is, it's just it's probably going to be my break from the regular mainstream wrestling games, because I did need a break a while back. I might need another one soon, who knows. Because career mode it's going to be a longer mode. It's actually coming along pretty well. We're 2 videos in. It's about 2 hours of footage. A lot of stuff I forgot to edit, of course, but that's me being a big brain. But it's coming along. It's not too bad for the first belt. We got 2 more belts to get in there, and I do plan on trying to get both of them before moving on with that. And then we'll probably do a dream match or 2, and I'll keep that save file on hand too for future reference sake. Because we might do some more referencing when we do WWE 13, because that was the game with the Attitude Era Showcase. So it'd be kind of nice to compare and contrast the 2 games that are set in the same period but were made so far, so a decade or 2 apart. It's close to 15 years, I think, really. But yeah, that's the idea going forward. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the content so far. I will continue cranking it out as best as I can. Like I said, between shifts, it's an easy week, so I'll definitely get more videos out this week, and we'll see how things shape up next week before we know what's going on. So until then, I want to thank you all for watching again. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, it's Grim signing off, saying thanks for watching, and stay salty.